This is Irontrader. This is midday trading. So I'll take a look at some stocks here. First, I'll take a look here at Uber. Now their earnings are coming out on the 4th. We'll take a look here at PayPal. Shopify, their earnings are on the 4th. And AMGN, their earnings are here on the 4th. Okay, this video is for information purposes only, not a recommendation to buy or sell any stock market ETF. Please like, subscribe. Thanks for watching. All right, here we have Uber. Now let's just look at the previous earnings, okay? So we had here, we gapped right on up here, ran up nicely, okay? And this one here, we gapped down, okay? This here, we gapped up. Let's see this earnings here, we just had a nice good rally up. And then the last earnings we had, it just had a rally right on up here. So really the odds of this rallying up here are actually pretty good. Now, if you look at this chart here, you got a nice series of higher highs and we have higher lows. You have bottom left, upper right. This is exactly how you want to look at a chart, okay? So let's look at the downside first, all right? So what we're really watching, first of all, is that the key support level here is going to be this 95.87. That is your 8-day. And then we have that 50-day right below it at 95.63. And then we have your 21-day at 95.25. So that 95 is going to be very, very key. Now, if we lose that level, then we'll come down to the bottom there, 94.56 level. We'll come down here to the bottom there. You're looking at that 93.90. Then we're looking for the 100-day at 93.28. Then we have your retest here at 91.18. Now you can see here how with this candle and this candle, how nicely we put a double bottom in, and now she's running up here nicely. Okay, so far today we have what they call an inside day. Your high and lows within the previous day's high and low, which was Friday. Okay, so now we're looking for the upside, looking at that 98.45 level. Then we can work yourself all the way up here to that 99.61, and then we have your 117 level. And then we come here at that 101.30 level, and then we have your big test at 101.99. That would be your breakout. You crack above that, obviously you're going to go to that 105, work your way up to 110, and keep working yourself right on up here. But right now here, this chart is looking very, very nice. Now you look at the RSI, you're only sitting at 67. You got plenty of room to run. The green is over red. That shows momentum to the upside. Very, very nice looking chart kind of situation here. And all these earnings here, the last couple of earnings, the chart, price has just been running up here very, very nicely. So the key to the upside is going to be right here is going to be this 101.99. We got to crack above that, and then we can go higher. Now, what you always want to look at for is if it gets there, say it gets to the 101.30 and then 101.99, what does it do? What is the reaction? Does it blast through and close above that, or does it hit that and then come right on down, kind of a situation? On the downside, just watch all that 95 area. Then we come down to that 93 area. Then we have that 91 area. And obviously, if we lose that, then we just bring the price channel right across here. You got that 88.84 level, and then we bring that price channel across here. You got 86 level, and then we come all the way down here to your 85 level. Okay, so which lines up very, very nice here, I should say, with your 200 SMA. But right now here, this looks like it just wants to go higher. But again, the earnings will be out here on the 4th, and we'll see how that all going to go. All right, let's take a look here now at PayPal. All right, we have PayPal. Now you can see here how it is. You put that high in there of 93.66. We retested it with 93.25. Okay, see this double top situation? Okay, and then she just came right on down. Now their earnings here, we just blasted right on down again. Over here, this earnings ran up here. This earnings came right on down. So we don't know. This earnings already here. This already sold off here. Okay, they already had their earnings. Okay, so right now you're stuck right here between all of this. You got so much resistance here. Okay, so you got 69.03, and then we come up here to your 21-day at 70, and then we have your 100-day at what we got there at 100-day at 70.55, and then we have that 71.18. So you can see here we had another double top situation, and it sold right on down. But now you got a strong, strong resistance all around the 70.71 level. If we can get above that, then we can do is probably retest that 77, maybe even that 79 level kind of a situation. But you look at here on top of the candle, 79.22, and then we have 79.55. That's another double top situation. But right here, this is what you never want to see, because that's a guarantee that she's going to come right on down again. Okay, so right now here, what you're really watching the bottom, you're watching that Friday's low. You're looking at that 67.62. We lose that, you can come right down to the 65.42 level very, very easily. And then what we can do is we just bring this price challenge right across, which you got right there. Okay, what you got is a 63.54 level. We'll come down there at that 59 level, bring this price channel through across here 59 level, and then we come all the way down to the bottom right there at that 55 level. Okay, so right now here, when we had like a consolidation, but you see where the earnings couldn't keep up and it just drove it right down. Same thing going on right here. So right now, with me, I would stay away from this until we get closed back really above that 200-day at that 71.18, and then we could take a nice run back at that 79.22 and then see what the result is there. Now, again, if you can crack above all this, we have this nice gap and fill rate area here. So this would be your target going up there at that 82.69. There's your gap, and then look to the bottom of that candle at 86 flat. Okay, so right there, 82.69, 86 flat. Then you can venture all the way up to that 93.69. Right here, this isn't really telling us much. We're just basically in the middle of the range. The same thing here with your MACD. You just got a sideways action, but I never like when you see these double top situation, and now the price is below all your simple moving averages. That's not good. Okay, let's take a look here at Shopify. All right, here we have Shopify. Now, their earnings are here again, coming out on the 4th after the close. Okay, so earnings here. Okay, gap up and went. Another gap up and went. This earnings here, we just kind of rallied all the way up here. Another one, gap up and went. Okay, here's another situation, gap up and went. So actually, if you take the last 4 earnings here, 5 earnings, this looks like this all wants to just gap and go kind of a situation. Now, when you look at this chart, you can see how nice this chart is, your bottom left, your upper right. It's just trending very, very nicely. Okay, so again, you have to see what the earnings are, but this here is trending very, very nicely. So on the upside here, what you're really watching is that 173.94. There's your 8-day. Then we can look to today's high, 178.38 level. Come on top of there, you're looking at 179.76, and then 182.19. That is your big retest. Now, again, we have to see what happens if it does get up to there. If it cracks that, then you're going to be going towards that $200 mark. Okay, so now here on the downside, what you're really watching just the top of that candle at 169.69 level. Okay, now there is a gap. Okay, so you look at here is 168.50, and then we look at the top of that candle 167.67. So you have a gap, a fill, and then we look for that 21-day here at that 165 flat. Now we start losing that area here. Well, then we'll come down to the bottom there. You got 162 level. We got 159 level. We'll come down here at that 154 level, and we'll be looking right here at that 50-day. That's going to be very, very key. And then we have your retest there at 145.16. There's your price channel, which is basically just the bottom of that candle. Now, if we lose that, we have the 100-day sitting at 139. Then we can just venture on this, take all these price channels and just bring them right out across here. But realistically, this is a really, really nice, still very, very bullish chart. And you can see how nice this 50-day is holding. See how it's sold off? Got down to the 50-day, 50-day, 50-day. So as long as we're holding this 50-day here, this is bottom left. This is actually going to be going higher. Now, this is actually a nice looking chart. Okay, when we look at this. Now, the key I say is just watch that 8-day on the upside. We start losing this here on the closing basis. It's early yet today. We watch that 21-day, that 50-day, and then we watch that retest at 145. On the upside, basically that 182.19. You crack above that and you close above that, then we're going to take old Shopify all the way up to that 200 mark. Okay, let's take a look here now at AMGN. All right, here we have AMGN. Now you can see here it's kind of like a consolidation kind of a situation here, okay? See how this here, we had a nice good run up. Now let's just see the earnings are coming out in the 4th. Let's take a look at what they had in the past, okay? There's the earnings, nice good run up. Here's the earnings, nice good run up, okay? Now the earnings, nice good run up. Okay, here's your earnings. Kind of fell off here, but then ran up here. And this last earnings, ran right up here nicely. Okay, so really here, what you really have to do, okay, is always look to the past there just to see what it did in the past on the earnings. But really the key is here, okay, we got to get back above that 21-day. That's at 294.89. And then we'll look to Friday's high. That's at 298. And we'll look to today's high. We're looking at that 301 level, okay? Then what we do is we come right on top of this candle here. That's at 301.66. And then we have that 303.85. That's going to be very, very critical. If we can get above that, then what we do is we just follow that candle right there. You're looking at that 311, that's going to be your next target. We bring this price channel across here. We're looking at that 314 level, and then we'll bring that price channel across. You're looking at that 319, and then we can venture all the way up here to that 335 level, okay? But again, you have to close back above that 303 level in order to do all that. Now, here on the downside, really just watch that 8-day 293 level. Then we have your 100-day sitting right there at that 290. And then we come down to that 50-day at 287 level, which is, obviously, this is holding very, very nicely, okay? So look at it with how many times that we've held this very, very nicely. Now, again, obviously, if you lose that, then we just come to the top of this candle right there. You're looking at that 284. We look to the bottom there. You're looking at that 283. And then we have that 275. Then we come down here, 274, and then we have your big retest down there at that 269 level. But right now here we'd have this nice, good sideways action. And let's just see if this can rally up here and get to that 303 level, break out of that, and start hitting some of these upside targets here. Okay, now here RSI, well, let's say that's only sitting at 51. That's got room to go up and down. The green is here. This is like a sideways action. So that's pretty much what we have for the chart. So the earnings will tell, but if you just look at the past earnings here, it just looks like it just wants to do a little bit of run up situation. But the key is going to be right there at that 303 level. You break above that, and then we can go higher. We break below that 288, obviously here, then we're going to go lower. All right, that's what I got for you. I'll be back here after your pit close. Take a look here at Bitcoin, Ethereum ETF, ETHU, and then we'll look at gold, silver, crude oil, and natural gas. Now, the Dow just turned red here. The S&P's a green, and the Nasdaq's up there at $102. Now, remember, after the close today, we have that Palantir PLTR already sold a little bit as I'm working up here. Got as high as 206 there today, but they have a 9% move on that, so let's just see how that's going to move today. All right, trade what's in front of you, not what you want.